Give me 1 second. We are live. Hi, I am Anna Livermore from V.Mora, which is a company that helps launch fashion designers. We take everything from start to finish, patterns, samples, source fabric, help strategize with the production numbers, with social media, with launching, with marketing, all of everything that you're going to need from start to finish, we can help you with. Launching a clothing line seems daunting, and there isn't like a great place to go where everyone's like, oh, this is how you do it. No problem. I've built my company for the last 10 years, and I'm going to tell you everything I know about how to do manufacturing. Most designers, because it is such an uphill battle to find those pattern makers and sample makers and manufacturers, that by the time that they've built this network, it's not something that they advertise. There's fear that the factory would get too busy and they wouldn't be able to take them, or they would miss deadlines. So it isn't something that people are outwardly sharing. So if you feel like everything's behind this locked door, that no one's giving you answers, that you're running into brick walls, like you're not alone, that is actually the case. It also doesn't help that a lot of vendors, a lot of manufacturers, pattern makers, a lot of these contractors are, they've been working, the good ones have been in the industry since the 90s, since pre-internet, and they don't always have websites. They don't want to be listed publicly. The reason being is if you're brand new and you don't know what it takes to manufacture a clothing line, it's hard because they're not necessarily going to want to work with you, because there is such a learning curve, and there's a lot that actually is your responsibility that you might think or assume is taken care of by the factory, when in fact it's not. And it's industry standard. And I'll get into those examples today while we're talking. But my goal is to help make that easier, to give you information, to provide you with my experience so that you know who to go to. And not only that by the time you use a referral that I've given you, because you've either worked with us or taken a course that I'm going to get into, you have the education around what you need to do to be prepared, so that they know you're serious, they see that you'll be successful, and they'll want to work with you. So some common challenges. Gosh, there's so many. Well, one is not being able to find the right vendors. That is totally not something that you're making up. Like my favorite manufacturers, I have the Garment District Alliance being like, hey, will you talk to them and see if we are allowed to list them, if they'll please let us list them on our website or whatever these platforms are that are a place where you can get resources. And when I talk to the factories, they're like, no, we don't want to advertise. We don't actually want a lot of new designers coming in and wasting their time per se. So a lot of the good factories aren't necessarily on those websites, have a website, or are easy to find. Another challenge is if you do find the factory and you want them to work with you, you've got to know and be prepared. There is so many things before you are ready for manufacturing. So many things. And some of those things are essential to the success of your brand. And when you go to meet with the factory, you want to have all of that work already prepared so that they see that you're organized, that you know what you're doing, that you know the terminology, that you are prepared. So, yes, we do this with clients every single day. You can hire us to be your production managers, your tech designers, your pattern makers, your sample makers, all of that we can do for you. Or I've also created this course called the Production Qualifications course. So what this course is set to do is teach you all of these steps, give you the templates, the examples, the blank templates, the checklists, and get this, the vendor list. So not only does the course say, hey, you need to source elastic, it'll say, here are my favorite elastic vendors. So it gives you the actual name. So I really feel strongly about not only providing information, but providing the contacts for being able to actually implement these steps. And being able to implement these steps is essential to being able to move forward, to create a clothing line. So this course is my full intention. You take the course. If you go ahead and you do all of the items in this course, like you fill out the templates, you do the checklist, you do all the work that this course provides, and you come to me and you say, Anna, I'm ready for a manufacturer. I will look at what you're doing and I will give you the name and I will make that first introduction to that factory for you. There is also a vendor list of my favorite manufacturers in there, but it always helps to have that one-on-one introduction, especially from V.Mora, because they know if I'm making the introduction, it's because you are prepared for production. So I'm going to get into, even if you don't take the course, you're never going to work with V.Mora, take notes on what this course provides, because this is going to be the key, the guideline, the checklist of when you are ready for production. So I'm going to run you through everything that this course walks you through, and that is going to be the key for what you need to do. Now, obviously, strongly recommend the course. It's going to walk you through what these things are, why they're important, why it's your responsibility, not the factory's responsibility, and then how to do it and who to do it with. So it is going to be amazing. Let me pull up those modules. So right now, this course is 4 videos, but the videos are really, really long. There's a ton of information. So we're going to see if we can break those up so we don't have like 4.5 hour long videos. I'm sorry, they're 1 to 1.5 hours each. So we're going to see if we can break them up. Right now it's 4, which is still great. You can stop and start. You don't have to do it all at once. But the first 2 modules takes you through all of the first steps of development. The 3rd module is prepping for production. And then the 4th module is production ready. So this is where you should take notes, because I'm going to run you through every single thing that these courses provide. So let me see if I can actually screen share. Those of you on Instagram will not be able to see my screen share, but if you log in to, well, let me see if I can even screen share. Yes, I can. Yes, I'm going to screen share. If you guys log into the LinkedIn or the Facebook, you'll be able to see the screen that I'm sharing, but it's basically like the back end of all the templates that you get for this course. So here is the module 1. We have templates for care labels. Your factory is not going to make your care labels. They aren't going to tell you what needs to be on your care labels. That is your responsibility to develop what you want on your care labels according to legally what you have to have on your care labels. and get them printed out and provide them to the factory. So care labels is your responsibility, not the factory's responsibility. Your fabric content, where it was made, from imported fabrics. If you have an RN number, all of this goes onto your care label. And in the course, I go into further detail. So care label template, and you know those little signs of like hand wash, machine wash, that no one really knows what those mean. I don't even know. And like, this is my job. It's a key for that too. So you'll know which ones that you'll need to put on. Croquis. So for your tech packs and your spec sheets, you'll work off of a croquis. I provide croquis for that. Fabric trim PO. So again, like you're going to order fabric. The fabric vendor is going to say, sure, submit a PO. I'm not going to lie. The very first time someone was like, yeah, send me a PO. I was like, what's a PO? It stands for purchase order. And I was like, don't you do that? No. Fabric vendors really appreciate if you fill out the information, you provide them with the order, you make sure your credit card information is on it. Anyways, we've got a sheet for that. We've got the fabric sourcing script. So when you're going to source fabric and you don't know what to say to these vendors, you can read off of this script. We have some tips for fabric sourcing. We have a list of fabric vendors. We have a pattern checklist. So if you're making your own patterns, there's a checklist of like what you need to do for what's important. We have a sourcing call log. We have a tech sketch checklist, trim order template, trim order PO, trim vendors, and then wholesale fabric trade shows. So that is just module 1. So module 1, that's why these courses are so long, because I have like 500. I like packed this. I was like, I literally want them to walk away and be like, yes, I got this. I have all the information I need. Cool. So that's just module 1. Module 1 has, let me just count. There's 12 handouts, 12 handouts, checklists, vendor lists in just that module 1. So that the first things that you want to do is you create your sketches and you start sourcing your fabric. So in that module, it gives you everything that you need. Factories domestically do not source fabric for you. If you're working offshore, they will source fabric. So this course is more set up for domestic production than it is offshore production, but it's not to say like I still recommend doing the development stateside because you have more control over it. You're able to make sure that it's perfect. I need some water. I'm talking really fast. I feel like I'm out of breath, but it's not my fault. I'm pregnant and getting out of breath early. So, and now is as good a time as ever to tell you guys that's what's going on. Okay, so module 1, offshore. It's more based for the domestic, but it's still a good idea to do your development here because you also will have your patterns within digital form in your possession. You will have all of this in your possession. And then you have this package. And after you take this course, this package can be sent offshore or it could be sent domestically. It can go anywhere you want because you control it, you have it, you own it, you've got it all like within your hands. So you can still take this course and do the development offshore. It's just slightly different, but not so different that the course would not be very, very valuable. All right, so module 2, these are for your next steps, which would be for your first patterns and your samples. This is where you'll be creating your tech pack. So your tech pack is a blueprint, and in the course, you'll get an example, how to do it. I walk you through line by line, what it means. Tech packs are not impossible. It's not brain surgery, but there is a standard language. There's a format. There's things that are expected to be in that tech pack that you provide to the factory. That's just industry standard. So we run you through all of that. For patterns and samples, if you're not doing them on your own, you're hiring a pattern and sample, I'll walk you through like what you need to provide your pattern maker and your sample maker, because all of this is set up for your success. Like, what do you give a sample maker or a pattern maker so that your sample comes out properly, right? So running you through a checklist on that, making sure that you're providing everything to the sample maker and pattern maker so that you're as close as possible to your final product in that first fit. So in the first fit, totally normal. I always give like a warning that like prototypes are not samples. So they're not finished. They're not perfect. They don't look pretty. A lot of times they're made out of muslin. They're not made out of the actual fabric. And Jay's telling me to wash my... Jay, are you telling me I need to wash my hands? I just saw a comment. Wash hands. Are my hands dirty? Now I'm like looking at my hands. They look clean, Jay. I don't know. You can maybe just go further. Maybe that was like a tip to wash your hands. He'll explain. Jay Aberman. Oh, he thought he was waving. Jay's a perfect example of someone that's been in the industry since when? 1942? No, I'm just kidding. Jay's been in the industry for a long, long time. He thought he was waving on my live stream, but he just wrote wash hands. Thanks, Jay. Hi. Okay, so where was I? The patterns and the samples, the prototypes are not going to be pretty. They're not going to be perfect. 1971, sorry. Thank you for the correction. Jay Aberman owns, he reps so many fabric lines. I think, is it like 17 at this point? Chicago Wholesale Fabrics. He has so many things. He has those elastics. He is on my list. He reps a ton of fabric vendors or fabric companies. So Jay Arbitman in Chicago is great. 9. So he reps 9 fabric companies, and they're all incredible. So hi, Jay. He has a website, which is great. And that was something that, really, I'm sure wasn't easy for him to do. But it's great. You still want to call him, but I'm sure he's familiar with like that fabric script that I have, because I literally tell people like, when you call Jay, say this, do this. And it's really helpful because he knows then you know what you're looking for. So back to the prototypes, don't expect perfection. You will have to do rounds of alterations. It does not mean your pattern maker is horrible or your sample maker is horrible. It's to be expected. You do want to plan for multiple rounds of prototyping and samples. It's just how it goes, no matter how great you're converting a 2D sketch into a 3D body. So just plan to have multiple rounds. So the module 2 runs you through like what a tech pack is, your spec sheet, tech pack terminology, so you're familiar with the terms that go on the tech pack. Module 3, this is prepping for production. So for this, it includes a cutter's must, digitizing and grading PO, and we go into all of that. If you saw, I think it was last week, I went into what markers and what a marker is and what all of those things are. So that'll be from last week. But markers and marker POs, obviously what a marker is versus a plot out, like what all of that is. That's also not always, it's normally not done by your factory. So this is also a separate vendor. I also give my manufacturing list in here. I give an example of what a marker looks like. So it's called a mini marker. So you get a visual for that. A production quote sheet. the size check run fitting notes, what a size check run is, why it's important. Please do your size check run. That can be done at your factory. It doesn't have to be done with your sample maker, but your size check run order form, and then your size check run worksheet to figure out your production numbers. So all of that is in module 3. And then module 4 is yields, how to figure those out, why they're important, what they are, and how to work those into your costing. The flow sheet, which is like our sheet for everything. It has everything in it. It has like been mastered and proven, and it's just like the one place to go that has everything that we need to get ready for production. So there's costing in there, there's budgeting, there's progress tabs, there's timelines, there's examples of timelines, there's the steps to take. You could probably just get this flow sheet and it would like give you almost everything that you need. So there's an example of that, and then a blank flow sheet, a production order PO, a yields calculator, so like a little cheat sheet on how to use the yields and how to convert them from, normally they're given to you in inches, you got to convert to yields so that you can order your fabrics. So all of that is in there. And then your production run checklist. So usually I would go through and like sum up all of that, but it was like so much. This is recorded. It'll be on the V.Mora. It'll be on LinkedIn and YouTube. So just rewatch it so I don't have to go through all of that. But point is, it is packed with information, templates. Like, so this book here, also on sale for the Black Friday. This is where you start. Like, this one's like not scary. You're going to leave and be like, okay, I have the gist of it. It's going to give you an overview of what the steps, like, this is a good place to start. Productions qualification course is like, I am starting, because if you're not ready to start, if you're not serious about starting a clothing line in 2024, it's going to be overwhelming. You know, the videos, I break it down, I make it very easy, but there's a lot of work. You know, it's buckle up, get ready, you're launching a clothing line. So the productions qualifications course would be the next step of first reading that book. So yeah, tons of tools, templates, everything you need. And for Black Friday, we are offering this at 50% off. So normally, I'm just confirming these prices to make sure that they give you the right price, but normally it's $480. But now through Cyber Monday, we're doing it 50% off. The code is the same for anything on the website. It's going to be 50% off. The code is BLKFR150. No, that's not correct. I'm sorry. I was like, why would it be 150? BLKFRI50. So you can have this course for $240 instead of $480. You can also gift it to someone if you know somebody is serious about launching a clothing line. And like I said, take the course, fill out the templates, do the checklist, have everything ready. And if you come to me and you're like, Anna, I want you to hand deliver a factory to me, it's going to be perfect, I will do that. But you got to do all the work and be ready and present it to me like you will be presenting it to these factories, because I just have to make sure that you're ready. Because if I were to just give out names of factories and then you guys go, my factories are going to call me and be like, hey, like so-and-so doesn't know what a tech pack is. How'd you send them to me if they don't know what a tech pack is? So the course is set up so that I can confidently give you a name of someone that can do your production. And I know that you're prepared, that you have everything that you need to work with them. And let's see, I have time for Q&A. So if anyone has any questions about the course, about anything at all in the course, if it includes something, if you wanted me to explain a step further, you can ask me now. Jay, do you have anything to add if you're still logged on? Okay, no questions. I also do a complimentary strategy session. So if you are wanting to do 20 minutes where we can go over specifically if this course is right for you, we can do that. You can book that on the website. How long will the course take to complete? Well, the course itself is about 6 hours. But like I said, there is a ton of work that goes into the course. So I would give yourself, like, if you officially do everything within the course, that would be including sourcing all of your fabric, doing your first patterns, doing your first samples, doing your digitizing and grading. Mind you, I give you resources for all of this stuff. I would say that that would take 6 months. So the course itself is only, like I said, like 6 hours long. But in order to do all of the work that I'm teaching you, like this course will set you up for the first 6 months of launching your brand. So all of those steps, making your care labels, like those all take time. You've got to wait for them to be delivered. You've got to confirm. You've got to make the artwork. So I would say give yourself 6 months. So let's say you purchase this class, you start in 2024, you'll be able to launch your collection next year. So from start to finish, I always say you want to give yourself 9 to 12 months to launch your, like to have production in your hands. So this gives you those initial steps. So yeah, probably 6 months to do all of the work that you are taught within this class. Jay says, great book, highly recommended, as it is the strategy. Thanks, Jay. Oh, I was going to read a testimonial from someone that took the course. I forgot. Okay. I love this client. He's great. He said, this live course with Anna is honestly an eye-opening experience for me. I highly recommend it, especially if you're struggling like I was, to get the ball rolling and rolling into the manufacturing department. So Bryce Ion, thank you for that. I'm glad that you took the course. But yeah, everyone has given me nothing but great feedback on both the book and the course. So if you have anything negative or positive after you take the course, let me know and I will address it. But yeah, like I said, everyone has really enjoyed the course. 50% off. And BLK FRI 50. This Friday, or this sale will end on Cyber Monday. So be sure to take advantage of the sale. We don't normally do sales like this on the course, so or on the book. This is actually the first sale that we've done on both of these, the sale and the book. I do sales when I'm in person at trade shows, but this has been our first online sale. So I don't know when we're going to do this again. So take advantage of it. And thank you for your time today, everyone. And I will see you next Wednesday. I don't know what the topic is yet, otherwise I would say it. But thank you so much. And we will see you soon.